It's been really good so far. I'm very appreciative of honestly the community here, all of everyone in admissions, athletics, like all the different departments that I've had to kind of work with to get started and get caught up with how everything works here has been like they've all been super helpful, which is something I'm very appreciative of. And it's one of the reasons why I was definitely really attracted to this opportunity at Case Western Reserve. I think we're definitely a little bit behind in some things just because of when both Coach Ross and I got hired. So we're playing a little bit of catch up with recruiting and just kind of get our feet underneath us with, understanding like what our needs moving forward, how does our current team, fit into that, and those players that we've already talked to or had at some of our camps fit into what our needs are and going from there. But the adjustment overall has been great. I'm really happy to be here. Just the environment in general, from everything from being in Cleveland to being at, this prestigious university, as well as, this program with, the players that we have has been awesome. And truly I'm just excited to get going this fall and see, what lies ahead in our future. Definitely have taken the time to speak with everybody on the team. And that's something that's very important to just like how I am as a coach, is that relationship building aspect. And so far, I think we have a really great group. I think we have a hungry group. That's kind of how I would describe them right now, is I think they're a little bit frustrated with maybe how things kind of ended for them last season. But I think it's going to be a positive thing for us, because I think it's really going to motivate them and has motivated them, going into this fall. So, some of the other, I think, themes and things like that have been consistent in my conversations with them and where they want to go as a program have aligned a lot with both myself, and I know what Coach Ross and I have talked a lot about of what we ideally want in a program and what we want to do moving forward. And one of the things that I think has been really great is they're not afraid to, take some initiative themselves, especially when it's something that's like a core value for them. And, I think their desire to want to do more team bonding and more things off the field to get better on the field, again, aligns with what we're looking for, and is something that is really exciting as a coach to see how much they truly enjoy being around each other and really want this team to be better and want to know, what more can we be doing to help facilitate a more positive team culture on and off the field, so that, we're reaching our goals together and reaching kind of a new level with, winning more championships, breaking more records, and just, winning off the field too, and how we are as people and growing. I'll speak a little bit off the field first. I think, again, kind of going off of some things I previously mentioned, I'm a firm believer that team chemistry off the field translates on the field. So I'm very big on finding ways of how can we be better as a team without necessarily doing things, not even touching a ball and things like that. So I definitely think that team building aspect is huge. And that's kind of like what I want. Honestly, it's one of the big reasons I went into coaching, is because of those relationships you're able to build and the impact that you hopefully as a coach can have on other people's lives, and also the impact that they have on my life. So, as far as like, I'm somebody that I think what you see is what you get. Like, I'm very transparent as a person. I like to joke around. I like to have a good time. I like to play some jokes on my players, and I like players that aren't afraid to give me a little bit of a hard time back in those ways and play some jokes back on us. And I think if you're able to create a culture where you can do that, but also when it's time to flip the switch, like, know that it's, time to get after it a little bit and be serious about our drills. Like, I just think that's a really fun dynamic. And that's definitely something that I think, hopefully can benefit this program and help us in a lot of ways go to the next level, because I'm very competitive. Obviously, if you're in this profession, you have to be to a certain period of time. But I think there's a lot of people out there, my husband, other coaches that I'm friends with would probably say that I'm one of the more competitive people that they've met. And so I definitely want to do that. Like, I don't want to just be complacent. I want to find ways that we can always push ourselves in every way to be more competitive and just be better. But at the same time, if you're able to do that, but then, at times where we're having like a water break in between a session or whatever it is, like, let's crack jokes, let's have fun, like, let's learn more about each other and doing that. And I think when you can do all those little things right and have fun while doing it, then winning kind of becomes like a byproduct of all of that. As far as like on the field goes, I am definitely a little bit more offensive minded naturally, just because of how I was as a player. I love being very dynamic going forward. I like other teams to know, like, feel our presence in our final third, so our attacking third. And I like to fly numbers forward and press at times and things like that. But I really want us to be a little bit more unpredictable in our play. And I think that's something that we have the talent, we have the athleticism to be able to do that. But it's really just knowing, like, what are those triggers? When are the right times to do that? Like, what does that totally look like? And I think that's going to be definitely a big focus for us moving forward. But again, I used to never think that I would be somebody that would say I'd rather win a game 6-5 than win a game 1-0. But in my previous years of experience, I just think, like, if you score 4+ goals in a game, obviously it's pretty hard to lose that game, as opposed to being a team that doesn't necessarily, like, it struggles a little bit to put the ball in the net. So I like to take maybe a little bit more risks going forward and try to find those opportunities rather than, like, sit back. We're honestly incredibly fortunate to have somebody with Coach Ross's experience join our program. He's been a head coach. He's worked at various levels, so he's kind of seen the difference, with just, like, talent-wise and just, what it might take at this level to be successful through his previous experiences. And I think he's really going to bring a lot of that relationship building, that leadership building, and kind of like a holistic approach to our player development, to this program. And again, I do think from the conversations we've had, obviously from his first, week and a half being here officially on campus, we have a lot of, I think, similarities in kind of our goals and why we went into coaching. It's kind of opposite in some ways, but also really aligns in other ways. And I think that's, going to be really great for both just us working together as a staff, and then obviously for our team to see that you kind of have a unified front. And that's something that I'm very big on. Like, yes, I'm the head coach, but I also think it's very important for us to always be on the same page. And that's what I want moving forward, from head to assistant to captains to underclassmen. And so I just think that so far, like, I'm very fortunate to have somebody with his experience and have somebody that I think morally really aligns with, like, my beliefs and what I'm looking for in a program. And I also think, the team is very excited because of how he also invests in lives and what he believes in. Like, again, yes, we want to win championships. We want to do a lot on the field here, but the overall experience at the collegiate level is a lot more than that. So I'm definitely really grateful, and I know he's going to be somebody that pushes me as a head coach as well. And that's what I want. I don't want somebody that's always going to just be kind of like a, yes person and all that. I want to be pushed and I want to be challenged. And I think he's really going to do that and provide a different perspective and dynamic to things. And he's a little bit more defensive minded too. So I think we balance each other out in that way also. I don't think it's totally hit me yet. I don't think, honestly, it's going to hit me until we're in our first couple practices and officially started and everything. Right now, I think there's been so many other things going on, again, with just making sure, like, getting my feet underneath me and making sure I understand just, like, kind of what the team's looking for. Obviously, getting my feet underneath me with the procedures and just the differences between, like, every university, how they operate and things like that, that there's been so many other little things for me to focus on that I don't think it's hit me that it's this soon. It kind of, you always say, like, as you get older, time flies, but when you're getting hired for a fall sport in the summer, I think it flies a little bit faster. And so it's definitely a little bit crazy, but I'm super excited. And I think once it gets here, again, it doesn't feel like it's 2-3 weeks away, but when it is here, I just think it's going to be a lot of emotions for sure. I'm sure I'm going to be a little bit stressed. I'm going to be a little bit, like, anxious and all of that. Like, when aren't you when you're starting maybe at a new spot or a new season? But overall, I'm really excited to have everybody here and kind of get going with everything. I think, it is crazy that it's so soon, but I'm definitely, like, very excited to get going and be in a season again and be out there competing and just getting better as a program.